the Lord. Nelson, that is. Light, shocking.
This is Danielle Weber, and you're listening to Live and Loud with the Lord. Nelson, that is.
Yes! Perfect.
I nailed it. Even Alessandra's like, yeah, you did.
Appreciate
Ladies
you, man.
and gentlemen, kings and queens, rockers and rebels from every corner of the universe, welcome to another electrifying episode of Live and Loud with the Lord on the CMS Network in collaboration with 5 Royals ENT. And you already know what it is. You know who I am. I'm the big guy with the big show, the voice with the vibe. I am that dude. Yes, indeed. The Lord Nelson, that is. And today, we are turning up the volume and diving deep into something special. On this episode, we're honored to be joined by a band whose sound hits you like a tidal wave of passion, power, and purpose. A band that doesn't just play music, they live it, breathe it, and fight for it. This is a band that brings raw emotion, unshakable conviction, and a sonic force that can't be denied. Now, whether it's through raging riffs, soul-stirring lyrics, or their no-holds-barred live performances, and you see them, man, they do work indeed. This band is out here putting their hearts on the line and reminding the world what it truly means to stand for something real. So buckle up, because this ain't just an interview, man. Nah, it's a movement, a mission, and a moment you won't forget. So my brothers and sisters, open your minds, eyes, hearts, and ears as I welcome the amazing band to fight for. Yeah. What's going on, guys?
What's up, Lord?
Your world, man.
Thank you for the amazing introduction there, Nelson. Absolutely.
So we got Bobby, Brad, and Hal here with us. These amazing guys, man. We're just going to get into some good questions, man. It's more like a conversation, man. No, it is a conversation. And we're just gonna have a good time. I want you guys to feel free to be who you are and say what you want to say, because it's all about you. I pray that the stuff behind me is to your liking. You know, I know that Blatant is the song that you guys are still, pushing. Listen, I had a whole lot of other stuff up there, but I wanted to keep it specific. I mean, I probably had I had it all up there, but I said, let me cut it down so we can keep, the focus. But it's all love though, man. So the first question always is, where are you guys from?
Greater Nashville area.
Greater Nashville. Yeah. Okay, so what's the best thing about being from Nashville?
There's obviously a really big music scene.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really, really diverse. It's also part of the Bible Belt, as you know.
Right.
But you'd be surprised how many people are not actually Christian, in the scene, here especially. And, there's a lot of opportunities for a lot of different things, obviously because it's Nashville.
Indeed.
Especially for musicians.
I got you. Yeah, I know my brother-in-law used to live there a few years ago, and actually I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Yes, I am. I flew out for my birthday. They flew me out to Nashville, so we, played the Titans. The Steelers did not win, but it was an amazing time. I enjoyed myself there, just seeing all of the culture, everything. It was really an amazing time. I had a great time in Nashville. And I have a lot of friends and family and people who are in the music industry that have moved. I live in South Carolina that have moved from here, that have moved to Nashville. A lot of people have moved to Nashville for the music scene. So now, being from Nashville, what's a stereotype about Nashville that is far from the truth?
That it's all about country music.
Yeah, I was going to say the same.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
Right. No, I saw that when I was there also. Indeed. All right. Well, let's time machine for a minute. What would you say your childhood was like? And I want to hear from each of you.
Y'all can go first.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, when I think childhood, I think a lot of different things. If I'm keeping it on the music topic, I first got into heavy bands probably around like junior high. Bands like POD, Project A6, Thousand Foot Crutch. Those were some big bands for me growing up. And yeah, my childhood was good. I have a lot of positive memories. Grew up with two great parents who I love to this day and who've invested a lot in my life and my music career. They were letting me play drums at whatever age I wanted to play them. So yeah, those are some highlights for me.
Awesome.
Look at Brad showing off, his amazing upbringing. My name is Hal. I born in 1997. I would say I kind of grew up, throughout the transitional times between like old tech, to like how it is now, in different like economic statuses, like growing up, like going from like, dirt poor, like very young to, my dad getting like a really good job up in Ohio from Tennessee, and us moving on up there for like 10, 11 years, being like upper middle class to kind of, having to be out on my own without much support. And so it's, but also like my musical background, I would say it's very diverse. First, my parents were really big into like country, folk, blues, especially like my dad, very much, a blues and Southern rock kind of guy. Then my cousin got me into, rap and hip hop. And so I kind of, that really became a huge source of, coping for me, dealing with the stuff I dealt with as a preteen and teenager. Then, I got myself a little bit into like punk rock and the scope of metal and metalcore and hardcore and, more like underground heavy genres.
Right.
Was I saw all these advertisements for this band called Crown the Empire on Facebook, and I never heard of them, never heard of anything like them. I was like, okay, well, let me go check them out. I'm a huge lyrics guy, so let me just read all these lyrics. And I thought the lyrics from their Limitless EP was like really cool. I was like, okay, I'm gonna check it out. I pressed play on the first track. And I'm like, good God Almighty, what am I listening to? Like this like, I never really got used to. Well, back then I hadn't gotten used to the screamo stuff up until that point. But I was like, I see what these lyrics are trying to do and everything, and they're like great. I'm going to learn how to appreciate them for what they are. And I just went down the rabbit hole. Like I'm too far gone on that. So, sorry, mom and dad. No, you had to deal with my throat bleeding screams or whatever, and you try and be like, oh, this is our son. He's trying to do that whole metal thing.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Awesome.
So I will start out, Lord, by saying that I'm sorry. I am a through and through Green Bay Packer fan. So I'm very sorry about that. I know you're a Steelers fan, but you did get Aaron Rodgers.
It's all love, man. It's all
You did get Aaron Rodgers. We'll see how he does this year.
Brady's gonna do well for us, no doubt.
Yeah. So yeah, my upbringing has been exactly opposite. So I actually grew up in the country on a farm. Did nothing with music until I moved out to the West Coast, and that's when I started getting into punk rock and metal and all that kind of thing. But my upbringing was pretty much country. So now it's funny to come full circle to a place that is supposed to be country.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's a lot more to that too. But yeah, that's basically it. It's just completely opposite from what I do now.
Wow.
So
awesome.
I'm the black sheep.
So was all of your residences filled with music? And if so, was country the genre?
What was that?
So was all your residences filled with music? I mean, did your parents listen to music or siblings or whatever? And was it, what genre was it mostly?
Yeah. So I was born and raised on country.
Right.
through and through, man. Old traditional country, 90s country, like the modern country stuff, like just anything that's country, right?
Yeah, gotcha.
I even worked for a country artist for a while here in Nashville.
Awesome.
Jamie Johnson, super good guy, amazing musician. But it's just been part of my blood, man. And it also kind of translates to some of the music in ways too, just with some of the ways that it's crafted and guitar wise and things like that.
Okay.
So yeah, that's pretty much, I would say, the musical influence.
Yeah. You guys the same?
Mine was pretty different. I've never been a country person. I listened to a couple country artists here and there: Darius Rucker, Brad Paisley,
North Carolina, Darius Rucker.
Booty.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Yep. But no, I didn't come from a particularly musical family. My dad played the clarinet in high school. My mom has done percussion at the church that I was born and raised in. And she still does, I think, to this day. My brother and I were both drummers. My brother and I took after each other in certain ways. I think I started drumming before he did, and then he was a runner in high school and into college and even before high school. And so I kind of took after him in that way too. But no, I was full blown hard rock and metal from the beginning. So I been playing bands since I was 16 and just have always loved heavy music. And yeah, I like a lot of other genres of music too. I like ambient, I like jazz, I like classical, I like some blues, but country is kind of country and EDM are the two that I've never really been that much about. So
really? I always say I just love music, man. I'm not a genre snob. I love everything. I'm a military kid. I've been around everything, and I love all kinds of music. So you were speaking about your mother being a percussionist. Do you think that's where you got it from?
My mom and I are pretty similar in that regard. Yeah, we're both very exacting, very kind of regimented, structured people. And so she's been very consistent. She's been pretty self-taught this whole time. She started with like those handbells over the years, and then she worked her way up into like other instruments like suspended cymbal, xylophone, stuff like that. But it was more of a for me, it's always been an artistic thing, like wanting to be able to play in an independent band, which the three of us are doing now. And I've had a lot of friends and family over the years who were like more classically trained and did stuff at school and church, but I did all that too, but always wanted to just be full on rocking out on stage.
I got you. Hal disappeared on us for a moment.
Like Hal's gone. Oh.
My bad.
He's back. He was doing some Rambo stuff. I get to say that right.
Man, I wish.
Where's Waldo? Where's your red and white striped shirt? That's what we need.
You and I will talk later.
All right. What about you, Hal? You wild dude.
Man, I think I'm probably got. Even though my upbringing was a little bit more sheltered, I think I've probably grown to be like the most one of the ones who could probably appreciate, I guess, more like different aspects of different artists and genres. Even bands where Bobby and Brad might be like, not necessarily feeling was like, okay, I could dig it. It wouldn't be like my favorite thing, but at least like if someone turned on the radio, I wouldn't like change it. But there's one genre in particular that I absolutely love, and I'm kind of mad at Brad for not bringing this up. Is like synthwave and retrowave kind of thing. Like I'm talking Gunship and the Midnight, talking a good faith-based synthwave retrowave band, OM53. Like just one of my favorite genres. Like, as you could tell, with the bandana and probably the mullet and everything, probably tell I like, 80s based stuff, man. I always grew up on stuff like Terminator, Predator, Alien, just honestly, any of like the 80s movies, even if they were like kind of cheesy or whatever, I just really loved it. So it's, Yeah, that's essentially on top of the backgrounds from like my parents, like with country, southern rock, and blues and all that, and my own like explorations, like that's kind of a good canister for the musical influences that is Hal Longview. So
got you. Now I have do you guys know the band Chase Rice, country band?
Yeah.
So yeah, my boy Jeremy, he's from South Carolina. Their drummer, he's from here. Yeah, we're real cool with Jeremy,
Nice.
man. He's super talented also, just like you, Brad. I'm just not bringing him up because yeah, but
I appreciate
and then
it.
another guy, he has a studio there. He moved from Atlanta named Will Power. He has a studio in Nashville now. He left Atlanta to go to Nashville, man. So there's a lot of people that have gone there to do things. Some other artists I know also, man. So when did music call you to it actually, and what instrument spoke to you the loudest? I don't know if you guys play other instruments, but which one was that?
Who's this for?
Just for all of you.
Yeah.
All of us? Okay.
Yeah, of course. Every question is for all of you. Not unless one wants to speak for the band, that's fine too. But every question is for all of you.
Oh, okay. Well, for me, I actually started with drums. Okay. I still do play drums. I got a kit for a birthday one time. We lived in a very small town, and there was no place to have the kit repaired for like drum heads and stuff. So after that fell apart, I just kind of like taught myself how to play. I'd listen to songs. I'd teach myself how to play. And then, my dad got me my very first guitar. Mm-hmm. He played guitar. I found, out when he was in high school and stuff like that. And so he had got me electric guitar. And I want to say that was when I was like 12 or 13 or 14 or somewhere around there. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I just fell in love with it, just the sounds and everything that I could make with it, and just dug in deep, man. I would spend 9, 10, 12 hours a day just playing. You know what I mean? That's all I would do.
Awesome. And you got to do it, man. I have a guitar, man. I was gifted one. And I thought I was going to learn how to play, I'm a writer, I do what I do. I thought I was going to learn how to play that guitar really quickly. Yeah, nah, that's not what happens. It takes a lot of practice, man. It takes a lot of practice. But go ahead, the rest of you guys, I'm sorry.
All good.
How's muted?
Yep.
I was going to let everyone go ahead and speak first. Well,
Brad, jump on in there, young man.
Yeah, all good. For me, I've been pretty much a drummer my whole life. I've experimented a bit with bass, and I want to eventually learn how to do metal vocals and hopefully guitar as well, just so I can kind of maybe be able to write some of my own stuff and just be able to understand Bobby and Hal's instruments better too. Because when you can understand kind of how all the instruments layered together and what someone's doing on a fretboard, it's easier to be able to mesh with that as another instrument.
Yes.
But yeah, I was pretty much a drummer my whole life. I started taking lessons pretty young. I very quickly wanted to do my own thing, and the lessons that I took gave me the foundation for everything else. But the biggest two influences on me growing up were Jordan Encino from As Lay Dying, and then Matt Greiner from August Burns Red. So I pretty much have copied their playing styles and, thrown in some of my own stuff. But yeah, it was around 15, 16 that I started playing in high school bands and haven't stopped ever since.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, for me, I'd say probably the most trying to do this most condensed way. So I always had a great appreciation and love for music ever since I was like, real young, just kind of getting into all different kinds of stuff. I think my parents, of course, tried to start me off on piano, starting off, of course. But then whenever I started getting into like, punk rock, like Green Day, like after I was getting out of like rap, like Green Day was like the thing I kind of like latched onto.
Right.
And so then, of course, like whenever, like I kid you not, when the song, like when I first heard when I listened to Dookie, the big album that they did with Reprise,
yes.
You know what song I'm probably going to talk about, Longview. Just besides the fact that Mike came up with that bass line while he was on acid. I thought I was like, okay, I like the groove and like the note placement of, of the song Longview. Like, it was definitely a huge inspiration for me on everything. Of course, I know how enough to do a to do a little bit of like rhythm guitar, so that way I don't feel like as if I'm like the odd man out. I apologize for the background music or background noise. I'm actually at work right now, but yeah, of course, having to learn and unlearn, relearn and unlearn stuff in terms of vocals, finding like my own space in it, and with Bobby's help and guidance, it's definitely come forth. I definitely am finding like my voice vocally and whatnot. That's definitely a huge part of mine, is to be able to do stuff vocally, especially since I'm so, no pun intended, vocal about all kinds of stuff. I could talk anyone's ear off all day. But yeah, and so and then it's also like, but also like kind of like learning, I guess, the not necessarily like playing, but I guess like the fundamentals of how different instrumentalists play their instruments. Like with guitar, like if I'm writing out like guitar tab or like MIDI for guitar, that way I'm not putting down like 10 notes whenever there's only 6 strings being played, kind of thing. And then also not like, for like if I'm programming drums, just as like for a demo, or just getting an idea out of my head. That way I'm not having Brad do like double kicks, hitting the snare, a cymbal, and a tom at the same time, kind of thing. And so that's probably, the scope of my instrumental background.
No, all love, man. You guys are definitely creatives, man. And I could just tell by your answers, and that's a great thing of how you guys have come together to do what you do. Well, so what was your first band? And if you can remember the first original song of that band that made you say, wow, we're good, or you're good.
I'll go last on this one.
Is this a song that we've been inspired by, or a song that we've performed?
I want to know. Okay, so Brad, you said you've been in a lot of bands. So what was the first band you were in? And what was that first song that you did, whether it be a cover or an original, that you said like, man, I'm really good at what I'm doing?
Gotcha. Yeah. So the first band I was ever in that was serious in some way, shape, or form was a band that I formed with my high school buddies. At the time, it was called Construct the Indefinite, and or CTI for short. A lot easier to say and remember. And that was, I think we cycled through a lot of members, and we were probably a band for 6, 7, 8 years, but it wasn't until much later. I'm trying to think of the first song that I played, or where I was in a band called Patmos, which actually is a biblical reference to the island that John was exiled on when he was recording the book of Revelation. But it's an island off the coast of Greece. But that was probably the first band where, also with high school buddies, where we were playing some bigger local shows. We did like a Battle of the Bands one year that was recorded, and people were going nuts. So that was just a rock band. That wasn't even like metal or hardcore or anything like that. It was just rock, and we had a great time. So I think my buddy Luke, who was in that band, he was our lead guitarist. He still has some video clips of that, which we've enjoyed looking back on.
Indeed.
Yep.
For me, there have been multiple attempts where I've tried, getting together with people on making songs, doing all kinds of stuff. And really, and I think I told Bobby this like once before, but the band that broke for lack of a better term, my band virginity was We Are Victory with Bobby. The vocalist that was with We Are Victory at the time, Jay, he reached out saying, "Hey, Hal, can you play bass?" I wasn't even interested in playing bass. Like, I was trying to do stuff vocally, which, like I said before, I was still having to like learn my voice to figure out how to do stuff properly.
Right.
But I was like, I guess, I prayed on it. I was like, God just told me like, hey, just do it. I was like, okay. And, I guess Brad or Bobby was, pleased with me enough to be like, okay, well, yeah, tell them to come on up here to Clarksville. And I was living in Knoxville at the time. So driving up like 3 hours and, it's, and Bobby, I guess you could say it was love at first sight. all jokes aside though, but it's, being real, it's been with Bobby, like with, We Are Victory. He and I instantly started bonding over like audio, music production, audio engineering, all that stuff. And, even more importantly, over the faith and whatnot is, God's definitely placed me with him and, as a waypoint of like, hey, not to use you as like an example, Bobby, but like, hey, stuff I shouldn't, try to get myself into kind of thing, but also like, hey, here's kind of like what you should expect, walking this path and this calling and everything. So it's, I know that was a little bit beyond the scope, I guess, of like the, but then also the song that kind of made me be like, whoa, was Signals from We Are Victory. Whenever I heard that, I was like, okay, yeah, I've always wanted to be a part of a band like this, and do it in a very, and actually not just make it sound cheesy or corny and it'd be good that way, but just like actually be like, man, the stuff's legit. So.
Indeed. Awesome. All right. The great Bobby. We want to hear from you. I mean, you're getting that love. We Are Victory. Come on, man. Talk to me, man.
Yeah. So, the first one that I realized that this is like what I want to do or whatever, was I think the second or third band that I was in, and we were going to get signed. And it was at that time of like the fashion core thing. So it was called She Has a Fashion Vice. That's what the band was called. But things just didn't, where it just kind of happened where I kind of split off from doing that and I joined another thing. And then that band also was going to be basically signed. This was back when Trustkill was like a big thing and like, Equal Vision still is, but there was some labels and stuff that we were kind of scoping out and looking at, and they were kind of checking us out in some of them. And so I would say probably when things started getting real like that and opportunities started to open up, I was like, okay, well, this is obviously something that, is something I want to, like, I love doing it first off. But the thing is I wasn't following Christ at that time.
Okay. So
it was secular bands. And through that, as part of my testimony with everything, but I had to learn that I was going to be used for it later on in a different way, just not with those bands. The reason they fell through was because, God had a different plan.
Right.
And, yeah.
Well, awesome. Now, see, I'm going to get a little deeper into that, but I want to ask this question first before I dive into that. So I want you guys to know I'm going there. So,
yeah, we can go there.
Yeah. And listen, I know you're ready to go there, so I'm excited about it because I want to hear it. So let's speak about the genesis of this amazing collective you guys have here to fight for. Tell me how you guys really got together. How did Brad come into be?
Yeah, for me, so I can give my side. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on it too. But so as Hal shared, the two of them had met through We Are Victory, and that band was you guys were doing tours, and you guys had a really successful music video, and playing a bunch of shows, audio feed, I think at one point as well, and that band came to an end at a certain point, and the vocalist of that prior band, Jay, he and I were starting to build a band. I just met him through Facebook and just different Nashville networking groups and musicians and stuff like that. And so one conversation led to another. That project that we were trying to get off the ground never moved forward. But then Bobby and I were talking through a couple Facebook video calls at a certain point, and then I had committed to moving to Nashville about 2 years ago, a little bit more than 2 years ago. And we met up in person, started talking about like the band, the vision, the goals, the values. And I don't think I ever had an official audition. I think it was more just a series of conversations and just pure alignment from the beginning, and we've remained aligned since that time, which is awesome. And really just wanting to give our all in this. So
you're telling me, hold on before you get there, and I apologize for cutting you off. So you mean to tell me that they didn't hear you play before? They hadn't seen you play, or maybe? I'm asking that question because then I'm going to go into that's a godly thing, man. It was just right there. It was already predestined. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're all good. It's the perfect question to ask, really. So, but yeah, I had shared a couple of videos from like previous performances, and I have a couple drum cover videos up online to this day, and those have kind of been my drum resume, if you will, for the last few years, and it was good enough to get me into To Fight For. So I think I'm good. Good to go.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, actually, Brad, I'm going to correct you on that. The actual audition for you being like solidified in To Fight For was the fact that you not only put up with, but actually entertained my bad dad jokes being funny. So that was the real test. Like you're like, oh, you get along with me, man. Okay, yeah, we could go somewhere.
That's true.
The bad dad jokes did it. He allowed those to happen. All right.
Yep. I before Hal and Bobby go, I've been close to the sole supporter of Hal's dad jokes for the last 2 years straight. So Bobby would even say, "Don't encourage him" at the beginning, and I think he still does.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So Bobby, that's it. That's what it is.
Or so what was the exact question again? They lost. If Hal has that way of like losing.
No, it was just how all you guys, the genesis of the band. So I know you and Hal got together. Did you have anything to add to that?
Yeah. So yeah, I do. Actually, it's really crazy because the start of To Fight For anyways, this was from a vision that God had given me long before I knew any of them or knew any of what I would be doing or how I was going to do it or anything else. They keep, talking about We Are Victory. We Are Victory was very successful in the short time that we were together, but I believe that it became an idol, and you know what God does with the idols.
Right.
He basically said, how much do you love me? Are you willing to sacrifice this? And as soon as things started falling apart, I'm not going to go into that whole story of why it fell apart, because I don't like to talk about others, So basically, we'll just leave it at it fell apart. And basically through that, God was revealing things, saying like, look, this has been your idol for many, many years. And you've tried to make this work, and it's fallen apart because there was things going on, behind the scenes that you didn't know about, and just all these types of things that God would not allow for this to go out any further. And he was literally like, do you trust me? Sacrifice this, and I've got something better. And so I said, I'm done with it. I'm just going to leave the music up on Spotify and Apple and all that stuff. Let it kind of live on in that way. Because it did affect people. It did reach people.
Right.
And it did its thing, but it was a trust in like, what does God have next? And so I laid it down, and for about 2 weeks, I didn't touch an instrument. I didn't touch anything. And I was just like in this like really big like prayer closet, if you will, saying, what is your next step for me, God? If you've had all this for all this years, what am I going to be doing next? And that's when the whole download for the To Fight For, what we were going to be doing, all that stuff just came flooding in. And that's basically how the whole thing started.
Got you. Oh, awesome, man. Oh, and listen, and you know how bands are. And I listen, I filled in for Bones for a while and stuck Mojo, and then I left. Another dude came in, Robbie J. And it's just wild to see how things go. But man, it's not easy to have all these different entities, these different human beings who may come from different places, all coming and understanding each other and respecting each other and giving that same love. So I know it's not easy, but you guys have the proper one right now, though. So, you got calm, you got the steady, and then you got the lunatic over there, Hal. It's all beautiful, man. I can feel it, man. I can feel it, man. And I listen. I see it in your performances. I hear it in the music, man. You guys are doing great things. So you dudes are swimming in the deep spiritual end of the pool with the passion and love you display so well with your lyrics. Because I'm a lyric guy and musicianship. So how hard or easy was it to bring forth your message in a genre that is stereotyped for the complete opposite of what you stand for?
So the writing process in that was, I mean, I can't take credit for it, man. It literally was the exact thing that secular bands say, where they're like, you know, you ever look at old interviews and they're like, yeah, the music, it just comes from out here, man. Like
right.
it just comes to me. And dude, that's how it was, man. I would just wake up at like 3 a.m. and I would just get on the recording stuff and just put it down. Like I had already known what it was going to be. The lyrics would just fly out and I'd write it on my iPhone. It would just come out.
I'm there.
You know what I mean?
Yes. I understand that very clearly.
Yeah. And I think it's because, you know, now is the time that, you know, God is trying to wake up people to what truth is and, you know, the better way of life. And I really feel like this music and everything else, it speaks to calling that out. And Blatant in particular was written because I had saw an artist who will not be named make a music video that was basically making fun of Christianity. And this person has a huge following. And so Blatant is basically what's the word, juxtaposition of like both this person and also Satan,
right,
being the same thing. And so it's just saying, like, you know, you're spitting out all these words of hate and stuff, and you're watching these generations that you're affecting through your music listening to this and growing up and wanting to be like you. Right. You're the problem. You know what I mean? This is why music and people, you know, I gave a thesis in college about it. Music has the ability to affect people in a way that nothing else does. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Part of my thesis was like, if you take somebody from the country and you have them grow up and listen to country music, they follow those ideals. They follow those values. Whatever they're listening to is what they follow and they ultimately become, right?
Right.
They dress like it. They act like it.
Yes.
It's what it is. Yes. And so there's so many powers. Like you said, in lyrics, you're a lyric guy. And so when you hear those lyrics that really, you know, inspire you or move you or do something, it changes something about you. 100%. You know what I mean? Yes. And so that's what this song especially was just about, like calling that out, essentially.
Got you. Well, no, listen, that was great. You know, we're going to get Blatant is the latest single that you guys have out. The video's playing behind me, of course. It's an amazing video, and you giving what you just said about it, it means so much more to me even now when I'm looking at it, you know? So it's a great video. Who actually did the treatment for the video?
That was Toddy Babu. He goes by Toddy on Facebook. Todd Dougherty, I think is his full name. But yeah, he's out of Florida. And so he's worked with some of the bigger bands in our genre and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I'm thinking somebody else worked with him also. I believe somebody I had previously on the show. But listen, man, great video. And all the other videos of the other songs are great too. Even the lyric videos, all of them, man. Music, great. Orchestration, all of that is good. Musicianship, you guys are definitely great musicians, and you're doing great for the love of God, for your spiritual part of you. And let me roll into it like this. The spiritual aspect of your songs mixed with the heavier side is delivered without the listeners feeling like you're preaching to us. So is this something that you're doing on purpose?
I would say that goes back to the other statement that I had made. I think this is a way in which, you know, God can reach people in different ways that otherwise wouldn't be reached.
Gotcha.
And so with our live show, it is an example we took from like churches, modern churches, they put the lyrics up on screens. Mm-hmm. So when you go to our shows, you can no longer say, we don't understand what these words are saying, because the lyrics are coming right at you at the same time.
Awesome.
So
yeah, definitely awesome, man. So have you had any pushback from the purists that just don't get it?
Like you're talking about like
some people are just like, they're just gospel. They're just like they're into that the normal thing that they do. They're not into the heavy, because you guys are heavy. So, some people just can't get it, So how much pushback have you had, or have you had any pushback?
It's actually really surprising. We've had people who don't even like metal music say, I don't usually like this music, but I really like what you guys are doing, so like weird stuff like that. Yeah. So I think one of the biggest things about this stuff is taking, Brad doing blast beats and stuff like that. That's like death metal stuff, and make it appealing to the masses. Right.
Got you.
So.
Listen, beautiful. And you're answering a whole lot of things that I had questions for, and I'm glad. I'm more than happy that you're doing it, man. And I'm telling you, man, I'm into it. I'm feeling it, man. So does your lyrical expression come from the word as well as life in general?
Yeah. Like I said, my testimony, I have a really, really big background as far as like why I'm doing this and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. As you said, kind of in the intro, man, living it out. It's what we do, like day in and day out. We don't start practice without praying first.
Awesome.
We know what it is. We're not trying to fake it. We're not trying to be out here and be like hiding our Christianity and saying like, we have like this lyric that kind of points a little bit towards God. So people always ask, you get on forums and they're like, is this band Christian? Because they said this one thing and it sounds like it's Christian.
Right.
And it's like, there's no hiding it. So it's like the lyrically, yes, it's taken from the word. It's taken from life experience. Mm-hmm. It's taken from the position of sometimes first person, sometimes a group, like we can do this type of vibe, like
right.
A collective, if you will, just like worship. Right. So that's why yeah.
No, I got you. And listen, once again, love. I just remember being on tour with Stuck Mojo overseas, and every time we'd have, our catering, and here we are eating. And I don't know if you know the band Ectomorph, mm-hmm. Hardcore and Zoli. And so Zoli, we were touring with them. So here we are all, eating together, and Zoli would see me every evening, before the shows and stuff. I'm praying over my food every single time. And just one evening, he just pulled me aside. He asked me, he said, do you always pray? I was like, yeah, I definitely have to give thanks, man. I said, that's how I was raised, man. That's what I know. And I believe in it. So, not that he was saying he didn't believe or not like that. It just gave me some insight to that. Not everybody is there, And so I just believe that your music is reaching those people. And my next question was, do you have a target audience, or are you cool with the masses embracing your sound? It's like I already know the answer to that, but I wanted to ask it anyway.
Yeah, definitely. And they can answer this too. But yes, it's definitely, we want to reach as many people as we possibly can. In fact, most of our shows that we've played are with secular bands.
Right.
So we have not even ventured into just straight up Christian shows, right? We go into like bars, we go into the depths of like satanic death metal bands. Amen. I mean, all of it, man.
That says, but that says so much of who Jesus was also.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, that's an amazing thing that you guys are going in there, but what you're doing is spreading the word and letting it be known and shown, your beliefs, your spirituality, your the way you believe is the right way to be, man. And I think that's amazing. I really do, man. I really, really do. I love that. So do you guys write together, or is it, I'll send you this idea and let you do work on it, and then you send it back to me?
Bobby's
Yeah, go ahead, Brad.
Bobby's our main songwriter. When the Glorify EP, which was the band's first kind of music out there, when that was released, that was Bobby's songwriting. That he was mentioning God was waking him up at 3 a.m. and getting the studio running and writing down the lyrics and everything. We've reinvested, we've revived that EP because we have our Glorified Deluxe reissue coming out later this year in October.
Awesome.
And so that has some of our own stylistic moments in there from all of our instruments. But yeah.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, I guess you could say it's been glorified, huh?
Oh,
There goes one of them right there.
do you have a boo button on there? On your
Hey, no, thank you for that, man. You had to do it. You spoke about it. You had to bring one in. That's good. That's good. I love it.
Boo this man, boo.
Boo this man.
Hal will never let an opportunity go to waste.
Hey,
Really
man,
ever.
listen. I always say like my wife, right? And her entire family, man. No matter what, man, my wife is always looking for the joke. She's gonna find a joke in there somewhere to joke me or whoever it is. She's gonna find a joke in there. I'm just like, everything's not about a joke. You know, come on, you have to joke me all the time. But,
Yeah, you like me.
so let me ask you this question now, and I want you guys, and I know you're gonna be honest with me. You guys are honest guys. What do your bandmates bring to the table that makes them so great?
I feel like Hal should go first on that
I
one.
want to put you on the spot. I most definitely.
I actually do want to. Well, thank you, Brad. It's kind of funny. You were like, "Hey, let's the house speak on this one first." Funny yet true, because honestly, just the striving for excellence, really, because it's too many people in the faith just go about saying like, "Oh, I'm a believer, I'm saved," and think that the word states, to make a joyful noise unto the Lord.
Right.
And like, I know some people who are just absolutely like just so tone deaf and that they're just, it's like, I'd rather just hear them like screaming than trying to like sing it like, at church kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So like, that's of course not like really like what God's like had called them to do. But, just that, I find that God's really put me in a lot of situations where I seem to be where I could view myself as being like the one whom needs to match up to everyone else. So it kind of helps to keep me on my toes, helps me to continue to strive to do better at what he needs me to do and everything. It's definitely a huge inspiration, having that especially with Bobby and Brad, not just with, their craft, but really with, their faith as well. And also like having like the humility to be like, hey, of course it all comes from God, but God does want to partner with us. That's why he made the garden. That's why he made Adam and Eve, because he wanted to actually fellowship with them. He gave them charge over the garden, but he wanted to have that relationship with them until they cast it away. And so, like how Jesus said, the harvest is plenty, but the workers are few. Well, I'm thankful I found at least a, good company to work for, so.
Awesome. I love it.
That's super well said, man. Yeah, I mean, I think like you can be a musician for years and years, but it's not until you find the right people to work with, like Hal said, that everything starts to change, and that potential is truly tapped into and unlocked. And Hal is easily the friendliest person I've ever met. He literally makes friends with anyone and everyone. He will walk into a room knowing 0 people and he will leave with 100 friends. So, and they're all like legit friends. So, I love that about Hal. And Bobby is the hardest working person that I know. He's early to rise, late to bed, and he's just always crushing it in the studio. So yeah, it's Bobby's work ethic is second to none. He's put our entire rig together, like audio equipment, the TVs. He is the mastermind behind our live production. So
Bobby's that guy.
Yeah, Brad, clock that teeth right there.
I was wondering what was going on there.
Bobby, what is it about these two dudes right here, man? That are like, what is it? What is it about these guys, man?
Well, I think it's that we're all equally yoked. So we know what the mission is. We all agree upon the mission. No one's trying to have like any type of egos going on. We're not trying to fight each other for like, well, no pun intended. But yeah, we're not trying to like fight each other over our musicianship or, any stupid stuff like that that happens in other bands, because ultimately, first and foremost, we're doing it because we're serving, right? That's what we're doing. And so I think it's their heart, their humility, and also their talent, right? So it's all these things combined, and work ethic and everything else. It's all of these things. And once you find that in a bandmate, which is very hard to find nowadays, mind you, it's something that's really special. So I do know that, it is special what we have. Kind of like how you had pointed out, even like how our logo, it's like, it's a 3-part thing. Mm-hmm. It's like with us, it's a 3-part thing. Each person has their like giftings and what they operate in. And, so Brad's a marketer. Hal is the social media stuff. I'm the production stuff. Hal is part of the production stuff too, but these go into our secondary gift type things. But mainly our main gifts that we're gifted with, we all try to exercise and operate in those gifts. And then also collectively bring our other gifts to the table and, make them all work basically. And that's really, really rare to find, man. All of that combined together is really rare to find. And then just friendship in general, just them as people and human beings. So
love it, man. Listen, you three just said the things you just said are just mean so much. And I would hope it means, not hope, I pray. I try not to say hope so much. I say like I pray, rich people don't hope about things. They make things happen, right? So I want to pray about the things that I do. I go better on the pray than the hope. But you guys just spoke of each other so well and what it means to, what you guys mean to each other. And I understand it clearly because I always find a way to say it. I'm in a band with Plastic Catastrophe with Lord Nelson with my boy Matt Acevedo. And I've been in other bands and I've been in Stuck Mojo, and Rich Ward and I had a great working, we work well together. But it's something about the way that Matt and I work together and we get each other. We really, really get each other. And we allow each other that freedom to be us. And I can see you guys are doing the same thing. So it's a amazing thing, man. You guys have something really, really great. So let me ask you this, though. In a perfect musical world where you could choose a stellar lineup to do a world tour with you, who would these bands be?
I'd love to hear your take on that, Bobby.
My take on that?
Yep.
Okay. I think ultimately I would say, and this goes with bands that are like not even a band anymore as well. Just like Perfect World.
Yeah. Indeed.
Okay. I would say, oh geez, this is a big question, man. Well, For Today is one of them.
Okay.
That would be absolutely amazing. I'd say probably For Today, August Burns Red. Man, Day to Remember. Who else? That's a really tough question, man. There's so many really good bands and different, genres, and it's
that's why I asked the question. When I thought about it, as I'm listening to your catalog and everything, it's when I get to writing my question. So I'm saying to myself, who would they want to be out on tour with? Because you have done, your music. Your music is what it is. So, and your message is what it is. So I'm thinking like, are they going to say just all Christian faith bands, spiritual bands, or are they going to come up with some of these other bands? So
no, yeah, absolutely, yeah. No, that's the thing is we are down to play with anyone. I mean, we were even asked by Ryan, which we're on this because of him. Right. Which shout out to Ryan's, man. Thank you for Distilled Entertainment and everything you do, man. But yeah, we are open for, through him, we've had opportunities that we're like, yeah, that probably is not going to work. It's like with like Guar and like, Eminem, I think was one of them. It's like,
hey,
that would be
New Metal's making a comeback, man. New Metal's making a comeback.
And it's like, but we would totally do it. If the good Lord showed us that that's what he wanted us to do, that's what our mindset is. It's like, if he opens the doors, we'll go play with Slayer.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
you go out there and you go play with Slayer and you'd slay Slayer, man. You talking about, man. That's to fight for right there. Indeed, man. So what is it about the music you're playing that excites you the most?
That's a great question. Honestly, like I love the lyrics because the lyrics are the most important. I mean, not that the music itself doesn't matter, but the lyrics are going to be the message at the end of the day. But one of my favorite things, and we were playing Flavor 90s this past September, and there were only a few people there, but they were loving it. Like they were full on headbanging. Like when the crowd gets involved, when you can see and feel that energy. And we've been rehearsing these songs left and right, and just playing everything in the garage, and then you take it to the stage. It's like people really connect with it, and I love feeling that energy from other people and just seeing that they're really connecting with it, and you can't fake that stuff, So that's one of my favorite parts. I'd love to answer
yeah, indeed. Nothing better than when they know your music and when they get it. And let me say this: I always say that the music gets them, and the lyrics keeps them. And so you guys definitely have a message. So I know you're keeping them. So that's love. So the rest of you can answer that also. I'm just running my mouth. And Hal and I, we're the same. Okay.
All good.
Go ahead, Hal.
Just the thing that really excites me the most. Okay, so kind of being a little bit honest on this too. In all honesty, like we play stuff that I am like really excited about, being able to play and perform and be able to showcase in front of everybody. So whenever, Bobby usually has to like reel me in and be like, hey dude, be careful. Don't sound like as if you're being like egotistical about this stuff, which I do get like the appearance of being egotistical, but it's like, especially knowing how like God's like really poured into Bobby about everything, like from like the writing and the music and the, just everything behind it. I just take it as like, hey, I'm honestly like the ministry's, number one fan pretty much. And so one thing I've really learned to appreciate, so besides like the energy of just like being able just to run around and being like a total goofball on the stage within reason. I think one thing I've learned to appreciate is the fact that, out of all the shows that we played, we've only gotten like a couple people kind of like moving around a little bit, but it's because of the fact that we have like the screens, like how Bobby said, how churches would have like the lyrics up and whatnot, just seeing people engaging with it. Cause like there's some people who are like on their phones on some people's performances or just like standing around just being like that while bands are playing. But, I really see like how people are just like really engaging with the material that we've got up there. Or at least, like they're really connecting what they're hearing with what they're seeing. And so that's, of course I would love to see people move around throughout the set or whatever, but, I think right now that's kind of like a growing place in my heart for, just to see all that happen. Cause, really you don't like, that's in a way kind of like part of the reaction that I think that is intended, or that I think the Lord has intended for how he's guided us on how to build this. Okay. Because, we're really like, it's like how Bobby said, we're really calling things out. We're really trying to bring things to light that have been either in darkness or left stagnant. And, really as long as like hearts are like, the hardness of people's hearts are being cracked open and, there's, revival in people's hearts to really be like, you know what, I don't know why I put this away for so long, but I need to go and seek after my Lord and Savior right now.
Right.
And so just, yeah, long story short, seeing people engage with the show, especially, and even in ways that I didn't even really expect. That's the thing I look forward to the most.
Awesome.
Yeah. Mine is revival. So just seeing, whatever is going to happen in the future with what, God does with everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's what excites me with it, is just the possibility of what can happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's different every show, and we've had people that come up and they'll say different things like, oh man, that was so, I was so inspired by this or that or the other thing. And, it's always different. And each show is always different, whether you're playing to 5 people or 500. Right. So and that, I mean, I'm sure your background,
Yes,
like
indeed.
you've played some shows where you're like, man, there's like 5 people here vibing. And then you got other ones where you're playing to like 5,000, you know what I mean?
Indeed.
And so
I understand it clearly. As Prince said, Prince Rogers Nelson. I always used to tell people that he's related to me. I'll go with that until I can't go with it anymore. But he's a Nelson too. But he said it just what you just said. No show. He said there hasn't been one show he's done that's been the same show. Every show has been different because the energies are different. The people are different. Coming from different parts of the country or the it's different things that go on. But we go up there and we do what we do. And I know you guys just, looking at your stuff, you guys are handling your business always, man. I'm telling you, man, I love it, man. So now I want to get this is a real question for you. Not that the other ones haven't been real, but this is a real question. Who are you beyond the music?
Yeah.
That's a great question. I will dive in on that one. Yeah, Bobby touched on this for a moment earlier, but I do marketing, and so I've done marketing basically my whole adult career. I guess I never had a career as a kid, so I don't know why I say that. But yeah, I've been a marketer and a writer, so I write books outside of music, and yeah, I enjoy all other forms of creativity and the arts. So
Awesome.
I enjoy film and reading and books. Yeah, my parents invested heavily in my brother and I, like with the arts growing up. We we got to see a lot when we were kids. We went to theater productions, we went to musicals. They took us to the Chicago Symphony Orchestra because I grew up in Chicagoland suburbs most of my life and only a relatively new Tennessee resident. But yeah, I guess outside of those things, yeah, I spend a lot of time with my wife and stepson. We love going outside and just going to the park and doing things as a family. So I feel like the metal music is the artistic channel to allow me to have other things in life that God's blessed our family with. And yeah, it's just it's a great life out here. So lots to be thankful for.
Yeah, love it, love it, love it.
So I'm going to take the jelly roll approach to this.
Okay.
I am just a broken man that's just trying to follow what I'm being shown to do. I'm trying to be faithful, trying to, lead my family, lead, this team of people, trying to make this thing happen for a good cause, right? We're not just trying to go up and go play music. It's like I tell them all the time, like I could go join a Nashville band, and so could they, and make money, right? And make money doing it, because you can make money in Nashville playing music, country music and all that kind of thing. And you could do it, but it's just not worth it. Right. It doesn't it doesn't do anything, right? So outside of the band and everything else, I just am a Christ follower first and foremost. You know, I do my church. I'm on the worship team there. I do production there. And just, I do the studio stuff. That's what I do for a living is studio. I have X Revelation Studios X. That's where our stuff is produced out of as well.
Gotcha.
And yeah, I just kind of lay it down and just follow whatever's being, being shown in that day to do and accomplish. So that's a very loaded question though, for sure. Like, who are you outside of it? It can go a million different ways, but yeah.
So that's one of the questions that I just came up with, man. You know, I know we ask a lot of questions that you've already answered a million times before, but I just, I really want to know who the person is when I'm talking to. I'm a very personable person. I like to know who the people are. I like to know who I'm talking to. So as much as I can through this conversation. So, there's just certain questions I want to ask to really get to know you better. And the people who are watching and listening, I want them to feel that also, because you guys have something special. You have an energy that you're giving out to other human beings. And you have a message also that is very important that I believe also. And let me say this, not that you have to do it. It's my thing. I've done my best to, so the word try, right? I'm trying not to say the word try, right? So you said try. So I always think about Star Wars as either do or do not, right?
Right.
So that's where I am. I'm either going to do it or I'm not going to do it. So when you're speaking about the things that, it's like you're going to do it or you're not going to do it. And so prayerfully, you're going to handle all those things like you should, man. So that's just me, man. That's just me speaking, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that Star Wars reference, Lord Nelson. I can greatly appreciate that. Not to interject too much, but my birthday is May 25th, 1997. 20 years anniversary of Was Now a New Hope. So
right.
I don't know if that's the Lord saying, like, here is Hal, my Star Wars nerd right here.
You rolled right in there, man. I love it, man.
Exactly. It's definitely one of those sunsets that you wish had two suns to it. If you know what I mean. But
yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you didn't answer. You have to answer also, young man.
Oh, for me. Okay.
Yeah.
So who I am outside of the ministry? Well, been a father to.
You might want to change that camera angle, bro.
Oh, well, my 3 or 4 kids.
I saw a straight up nip for like 30 seconds.
My bad. I am a husband to my beautiful wife Emily. I do voice tracks everywhere, Scoob. So that was really funny. I am a husband to my beautiful wife Emily. Thanks for the laugh reaction, Brad. I am a dad to my beautiful twins who just turned 1.
Awesome.
On the 17th.
Yeah.
Yep. Oliver and Hosanna. Remind me, Lord Nelson, I'll send you some photos. They are absolutely adorable.
Yeah, I have twins also. I have twins also.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. That's awesome, man. There ain't nothing like it, is there?
Nothing like it, man. Nothing like it.
Exactly. And I very much love entertainment and pop culture. I'm very much I guess I'm more of a modern movie connoisseur. I love to check out other movies I haven't seen. Like it feels like a lot of the classics I feel like I should have watched, like Godfather or any of the other classics I can't think of right now I haven't seen yet.
Yeah,
but I would very much love to, kind of thing. But I'm down to hang out. Like I've hung out with people in like freaking Waffle House parking lots till like 4 or 5 a.m. kind of thing, just like talking, hanging out, just like loving and living life kind of thing. There's all that. But yeah, also just with the audio, music production, and everything, I've really like funny thing. Kind of on a slight segue, but to kind of explain exactly how I got on that. Before I became a follower of Christ, like I knew God, I heard about God all throughout church and whatnot, got the little, like, I wouldn't say sprinkle, but just like the little, like, water, like, baptism that United Methodists did or whatever. But it wasn't until I did a mission trip over to Jamaica with my United Methodist church, and I guess the church that was partnered up for the mission trip or whatever, down over in Jamaica, it was a Pentecostal church. So I never knew about, like, people falling out of the spirit, speaking in tongues, all that stuff. So it was definitely a very new experience, but it was like, I wasn't turned off by it. But it was like, okay, there's something to all this,
right.
Not necessarily in like a suspicious manner, but just like, there's obviously something going on here that I'm not.
It was different from what you know your norm. Yeah.
Exactly. And then the prophet or whoever, I don't even really remember what this dude looked like. He, points me out of a group of like 20 white people, and like, everyone else being, black, Jamaican, and being like, he said, you sir, like, you're going to go and do music and worship for the Lord and for his glory. Right. And man, I tell you, it was as hot as the devil's crotch on a July afternoon in Arizona, man. It was bad over there. But man, when I tell you, whenever that word came over me, because I never knew about prophecy or nothing like that. Like there was like this gentle, like slight breeze where it's like there for like a moment, it felt like as if like I'd never like felt like that kind of calm, that kind of peace. I was like, right, shoot, okay. So, and this is before I even like dedicated myself to Christ or whatever. So that's, I would say music is so ingrained in me in terms of like my love for music and my desire to like do anything like music wise.
Yes.
So that's why it's like a huge part of me, in terms of, anything when it comes to music, like production, editing, recording, I've got a passion and drive to go and do all that, right. And so, yeah. Awesome. Anyways, I know it's a bit of a interesting tangent.
Awesome, man. I want you guys to be free and say what you want to say, man. It's great. So we're getting close to it. But here's the thing. I want to ask this question right here. What does success look like to you guys?
Success is, for this, it's definitely going to be exactly like what our upcoming EP is. It's about glorification, right? Not of ourselves, but what we're trying to put forward as the message, right? So it's like that saying, like, how are you going to gain the whole world and lose your soul? You know what I mean? And it's like, that's what people want is to like be successful and have all these things. But it is the Lord that also said, seek first the kingdom and all these things will be added on to you.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And so if you don't put your focus on that, which is not what our focus is at all, it just makes things better because we're just saying like, we just want to glorify you. And that's really in the end, what it's about is we just want to play these shows, do these things and have people that come up to us and say, I was going through something really hard. And then I came to this show and like, I want to know who is this God you're talking about?
Right.
You know what I mean? What is this? And see people be actually saved. I think that is success is if we can see people being saved and just planting those seeds, that's success.
Life changes, man. I think that's something you guys are going to do and have done. Life changes, man. And when people get it, it changes their lives. No doubt about it, man. It's just a true statement. You said that very, very well, man. I like that. I like that. So
thank you.
What makes The Fight For a must watch and listen?
I would say Bobby covered that last question really well. I would say for this question, it's our stage presence, it's our production. We've got lights, we've got fog, we've got TVs with the lyrics on them, playing our lyric videos and just showing everything. You know, it's all coordinated. It's hours upon hours that Bobby has invested in that process, and Hal has been a big part of that too. That's not my wheelhouse, so I've been able to enjoy the fruits of their labor in that respect. But yeah, we all contribute to making it, you know, something that people can be mesmerized by in a good way, and really just be able to soak it all in, and just be present in that moment and not have to think about anything else, like what they're doing for work tomorrow, or when they're gonna have to pay their next bill or anything like that. It's really just that proper form of escape. It's just bringing people into God's presence through him alone.
You just listen, once again, you guys are speaking well about these things, man. Another great answer right there, man, because you want them to lose themselves for a moment, man. You know, people, we go through so much stuff, and everybody is on a journey. You know, the chapters of their book, you know, when you look driving down the highway and you're looking at people, like, everybody has a story, you know, but the time that they're able to come there and see you guys, and actually you guys are entertaining and also giving a message, which is that double thing. It's a great thing, man. I'm telling you, man, you guys are awesome, man. There's no doubt about it, man. So what can we expect to fight for the remainder of 2025? You already kind of touched on it a little bit.
Yeah, we have the re-release of, well, it's, to anyone who ever heard it before, it's a re-release, but to everyone else, it's going to be new. But we're calling it the deluxe reissue of the EP/album. It's 7 tracks, and it's completely redone. I even got some added new stuff to it. It's basically everything that it should have been in the beginning, but I didn't have a drummer at that point, so I just programmed all the drums. This is live drums. Everything's live recorded. It's not just a production with MIDI samples and things like that. It's an actual recording. And it's our first one with Brad. But we have a lot of new stuff as well. We got some other stuff that'll be coming down the pipeline after we release this. We're not going to go completely into what that's going to be yet, but we have a new single that'll be coming out shortly after that. And yeah.
Cool. Love it. All right. So my last question is always, what was the last song you listened to?
That's a good one. I think the last song I listened to, I worked out earlier today, so I have metal going pretty much the whole time, but I honestly think the last song I listened to was Seraphim by For Today.
Okay.
Looking at him getting the right answer in there.
It was almost Meshuggah. Meshuggah's great workout music too.
Oh, for sure. You want to say yours, Bobby?
Go ahead, Hal. Unless it takes 10 minutes.
All right. Honestly, it's I never really listened to this band that much before, but like how they're doing stuff now is kind of catching my attention. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of a Novelist, but the song All for Nothing with their new singer and everything, it's really caught my attention, and I'm kind of enjoying it. It feels a little fresh for what we've been hearing a lot lately. So
you said Novelist?
Yeah, the song All for Nothing. I heard it on a short, and I was like, okay, let me check it out. And I was like, ooh, it's pretty good.
Got you. All right,
Great
Bobby,
band.
what you got for me?
Mine was actually a mix that I was referencing, and it was Exhumed by August Burns Red.
August Burns Red.
Nice.
You spoke about. And the reason why I asked this question is you guys could come up with somebody I haven't heard before, because I go out there and I listen. You know, it's like you're introducing me to something new. So that's why I asked that question. It's solely for my pleasure, but I appreciate it. I thank you. So guys, the floor is yours. Please let my listeners and watchers know where they can go to support and be a part of, the To Fight For movement.
For sure. You can find us on all socials and all streaming platforms as simply To Fight For. And sometimes it's To Fight For Official. And we also have tofightfor.com. So it's pretty much TFF across the board.
Can I put my Cash App in there?
Why not?
This is all about you. You can put whatever you want to in there. Do work, baby.
Well, I appreciate the offer. All jokes aside, though. It's either To Fight For Music, or you can go on tofightfor.com. Brad pretty much said everything right on point.
Awesome, man. Well, look, I thank you guys so much, man. This has been a great time. It's been inspirational for me. I'm glad we had the opportunity to do this, and you guys are welcome to come back anytime you want to talk about whatever you want to. Of course, Ryan and I are definitely family, born on the same day, toured together. That's my guy.
Wow.
You know, Patrick. Yeah. That's my guy, man. You know, he probably never tells you guys that, you know, I flew out to California to Napa to be the officiant of he and his wife. So,
Yes.
you know.
Didn't know that. Nope.
Oh, man, listen. We that's my guy, man. He's one of the great ones. There's no doubt about it. So,
It's awesome.
once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for taking the time to spend some time with the big guy with the big show, the Lord, Nelson, that is, Brad. Host of Live and Loud with the Lord on the CMS Network with 5 Royals ENT. And I'm so thankful and grateful to be blessed by the presence of my amazing guests to fight for. And always remember to do your best to lead with love, moving forward with faith, and you guys be good. Thank you guys so much, man. I really appreciate you. To fight for, yeah.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, man.
Well, I've been very blessed by this. It's definitely put a smile on my face.
You are now rocking with Live and Loud with the Lord. Nelson, that is.
Turn it up. You're listening to Live and Loud with the Lord, Nelson, that is.